Hey everybody, welcome back to Ink Play Quest. My name is Nathan, and today we are going to be reviewing all the cards from Azurite Sea that are Sapphire for Cube. As a reminder, I review cards in a tier list format. A tier cards are clearly powerful, they're in the top 10% of cards in their color. B tier cards might get there, I'm happy to try them out in my cube. Generally this is where a lot of cards end up. C tier cards are marginal or replaceable. Generally only going to include these in my cube if there are much weaker cards at their similar cost and color. D tier cards are either too weak on their stats or too narrow and specific of an archetype to make sense including in a general cube. And vanilla cards are characters or sometimes locations with no effects or just one keyword effect. These I'm trying to phase out of cube. And in Sapphire, we have 5 vanilla cards. The only one here of note is Hiram Flaversham, Intrigued Inventor. He's a 0-2 that quests for 3, 2 cost uninkable. I think if you have enough of these, a critical mass of these 3 questing 2 drops, it's interesting, I guess, but like he's a 0-2 and 0 strength characters are bad, so we're gonna pass these by and move on to the cards with effects, starting off with Aunt Cass, Biggest Fan, 2 cost inkable 1-3 that quests for 1. Whenever this character quests, chosen inventor character gets +1 lore pip this turn. This is just a D. If it was chosen character gets +1 lore pip, even that, I mean, not enough inventors. This is weak on stats. We have 2 cost inkable vanillas that are 2/2s that quest for 2. I think this is just a D. Starter deck card. Gadget, Hackwrench, Creative Thinker, 3 cost inkable 1/4 that quests for 1. Whenever you play an item, this character gets +1 lore pip this turn. So I think this also is a D. Not starting off great in Sapphire. I just realized that her ability name is Brainstorm, which is like one of the most iconic blue cards in Magic of all time. Anyway, I think until there is an easy way to sort of loop items and make this sort of a one-turn kill, this is not really worth it. You're only getting close to vanilla stats if you play 2 items every turn, then it's like a caterpillar. But no, I think this is a D. Gadget, Hackwrench, Brilliant Bosun, 6 cost inkable 3/6 that quests for 3. She has shift 4. While you have 3 or more items in play, you may pay 1 less to play inventor characters. I think this is also a D. This is probably like the top end of the starter deck for inventors. 3 items is a lot of items when, you know, at least my cube is designed to be way mostly characters and not as many items, and the items that I have are strong, but don't think you're going to be proccing her effect too often, and then she's just a 3/6 that quests for 3, shift 4. I mean, the stats are fine, but I think she's a D until proven otherwise. Zipper, Astute Decoy, 2/2 that quests for 2. He's a 3 cost inkable with Ward. During your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, another chosen character gains resist +1 until the start of your next turn. Alright, I like this card. I think this is a B. I like these inkwell abilities. As I've said many times before, this is a flexible 3 cost inkable character, quest for 2, it has Ward. You can just leave them up and give all your stuff resist. It's until the start of your next turn, so it's not just offensively, you can quest out, give your stuff resist. Totally good, repeatable effect, giving him a B. Oswald, Lucky Rabbit, 2 cost uninkable 2/1 that quests for 2. During your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, you may reveal a top card of your deck. If it's an item card, you may play that item for free, and it enters play exerted, otherwise put it on the bottom of your deck. Yeah, this is an A. Oswald was revealed, I don't know, mid-last set, early last set, as part of the D23? I forget what the convention is called, but as part of that convention bundle as the set 6 representative card. This is a really cool card. You don't have to, you can quest with him, and then, you know, he's slightly understated for a 2 cost 2 quester, but if you get 1 free item off of him in like a few turns, you feel amazing, especially, I mean, the dream is like Lucky Dime, right? You get 7 costs worth of item for free. But if you have like a critical mass of items in your deck, you know, I don't know, 5 to 7 items, This obviously isn't going off that often, but if you get this one time, you feel great. A pretty low downside, you know, it's uninkable, but uninkable low drop characters are not that big a deal, right? Because you can get them out on turn 2, basically no matter what, unless you have 6 uninkables in your starter hand, which you shouldn't. Yeah, this is an awesome card. I think Oswald and some other payoffs that we may see in this color suggest that we may start seeing an item deck in Cube as we get more powerful items like Lucky Dime. But cool card. Giving him an A. Ooh, here's a cool one. Yokai Enigmatic Inventor. 4-cost inkable 3/3 that quests for 2. Whenever this character quests, you may return one of your items to your hand to pay 2 ink less for the next item you play this turn. I think this is a solid B, and I think it enables a lot of really cool recursive item strategies. So the most obvious one to me when I first saw this card was, okay, quest for 2, pick up your popsicle, replay your popsicle for free, draw a card. Totally good use. You can also pick up like your lantern, replay, you can play yokai on 4, quest with yokai on 3 with lantern, quest with yokai, use lantern so that you're paying 1 less for your next character, pick up lantern, replay lantern for free, use it again because it comes into play ready. So items that only require exerting themselves, you get 2 uses of. You can use like the spell book to gain an extra lore. I think there are a lot of cool use cases with yokai. Not an A because, you know, just sort of a weak-ish body. And, you know, requires an item to have, but I think this is a really fun card. I've tried him out a couple times in a couple decks so far, and I think he is a solid B. Pleakley, Scientific Expert. Glad to see Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch here. Love that movie. 3-cost inkable 3/4 that quest for 1. When you play this character, put chosen character of yours into your inkwell face down and exerted. Oh, it can target itself. Okay, well, I think it's a C. I didn't realize until just now reading the card that it can target itself, or it can choose itself. But I think it's still a C. I think there are better ways to put extra ink into your inkwell to get ahead on ink than this card. But there's some interesting edge cases, right? You can put a Merlin into your inkwell and get the benefit of it leaving play, so either drawing a card or gaining a lore with Rabbit or Goat, respectively. You can send away your unneeded 1-cost character to your inkwell. I think it's on the higher end of C, but still probably C. I mean, spoiler alert for later in this video, we have a new best Sapphire ramp card in Azurite Sea, so I think Pleakley doesn't quite get there for me, but cool card. Hiro Hamada Robotics Prodigy 0/3 that quests for 1. He costs 3 and he is inkable. Exert him and pay 2 ink. Search your deck for an item or a robot card. Reveal it to all players. Shuffle your deck. Put it on top of your deck. So it's a repeatable tutor effect. This is like vampiric tutor, not demonic tutor, where you're putting it onto the top of your deck instead of putting it into your hand. Luckily, you don't need to get rid of Hero for this, so it's repeatable. I think it's a C, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. There's not a lot of these kinds of search your deck and find something effects in Lorcana. There are a few more from Azurite Sea now. Obviously, a very weak stats for a character. 0/3 is pretty terrible, but I don't know if there are any good robots other than the legendary Baymax, which we'll talk about later. Items, certainly, if you need your dime, if you need, you know, spellbook or something, fine to go find it, but it's a lot of ink across effects. I don't know, probably C. Hey, Not So Tricky Chicken. 2-cost inkable 2/2 that quests for 1. When you play this character, exert chosen opposing item. It can't ready at the start of its next turn. It's sort of a freeze effect for an item. During your turn, this character gains evasive. I like these 2-cost evasive on your turn characters, and this has a minor upside of freezing their lucky dime so they can't win with it or something. So I think it's a B. Good enough on stats. I think that it's a 2 power evasive, so it gets rid of a lot of nasty evasives like Diablo. Which bird will win? But yeah, I think he's a B. I'm willing to try this guy out. And there are a lot of like really bad 2-cost Sapphire characters already in my cube because there's just not a lot in Lorcana right now. So this will easily replace like a vanilla or something. So cool. Sour Bill Surly Henchman, 3-cost inkable 2/3 that quests for 2. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -2 strength this turn. I think this is also a B. Nice little effect. Can enable you to trade for something. Stats are fine. It's almost a vanilla, or almost reaches those vanilla stats of 3/3 quest for 2. But -2 strength, I mean, that can really help you survive a turn. You can challenge into, I don't know, what at 2 cost am I most wanting to get rid of? I don't know. It can get rid of lots of things, but I think totally a fine effect at 3 and inkable. Sour Bill, you get a V. Nick Wild Soggy Fox, a gross name. 1 cost inkable 1/2 that quests for 1. While you have another character with support in play, this character gets +2 strength. There's also not a lot of good 1 cost Sapphire characters. I think this effect is still just a C. I do like support as a mechanic, and so I like having minor support payoffs like this. And having a 3/2 for 1, always a good rate, but this is probably not going to be a 3/2 enough of the time for me to be interested in it. I probably will replace like a vanilla 2/2 with this guy, but I think he's a C. Wasabi Methodical Engineer, 4-cost inkable 3/3 that quests for 1. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item. Its player gains 1 lore. During your turn, this character gains evasive. Another evasive on your turn character, but this has an interesting item removal effect. So offensively, it feels kind of bad to give them a lore when Benja banishes an item for 1 ink less and does not give them a lore and quest for 2. But I think they have to make that trade-off, right? They're trying to keep ink identity balance, right? Steel has a lot of the unconditional item removal and summon Emerald. But Sapphire can get rid of items and give benefits. So Judy Hopps does that with drawing cards, and Wasabi does that with gaining lore. But you could, like, banish your Popsicle or your Fortisphere, give yourself a lore. So I think a reasonable upside to its banish ability. We're going to give him a B. Nick Wild Sly Fox, 3-cost inkable 1/3 that quests for 1 with Shift 1. Is this the only Shift 1 we've seen? I'm not sure. While you have an item in play, this character can't be challenged. Why can't this have quested for 2? He's a C. I want that ability to be so good. I want that ability to be good so badly because that's unique, right? Can't be challenged. We have some other can't be challenged effects, but they require like your opponent's characters to be damaged, or there's a new character in Steel that can't be challenged by characters with more than 1 power. Or more than 1 strength. I just don't see this being great, but we'll see. Give him a C. Tadashi Hamada, Baymax Inventor, 6-cost inkable 3/3 that quests for 3. This character gets +1 strength and +1 willpower for each item you have in play. I think he's a C. It's just a vanilla that scales up in power level with items. I mean, you can make this really big, and just 1 item protects him from Madame Medusa, but other than that, he's just a big questing body. I don't know. If you have, like, 3 items in play, and it's a 6/6 that quests for 3, that's going to probably eat 2 of their things. This is probably on the higher end of C, but, again, I don't really see this kind of go-wide items deck paying off right now in my cube, but maybe. Hero Hamada, Team Leader, 4-cost inkable 1/5 that quests for 1. Your other inventor characters get resist +1. And pay 2 ink, look at the top card of your deck, put it on either the top or the bottom of your deck. Okay, I'm going to give it a B just because repeatable ink effects are cool. And this one, you can just card filter if you don't like the card on top of your deck, especially if you have another way to draw cards in the turn. You can also use it if you don't have a way to draw cards during the turn until you find a card you want to draw on your next turn. And then your other inventor characters gain resist +1, I think is a fine passive line of text. Obviously, there's not a lot of inventors other than the ones introduced in Azurite Sea, But I think the repeatable ink effects I'm high enough on that I'm willing to give him a low B. But we'll see. Also, I mean, anything that makes one of my favorite cards, Bruno, the Amethyst Bruno, makes him good, I am happy with. So this helps there. Yeah, we're going to give a B to Hero. Tadashi Hamada, Gifted Roboticist. 3-cost uninkable 2/3 that quests for 2. During an opponent's turn, when this character is banished, you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down, then put this card into your inkwell face down. I guess they don't need to say exerted because it's on your opponent's turn, but that's interesting to note that they both go in unexerted. How does that work? If Tadashi's exerted and he goes into your inkwell, does the exertion carry over into the inkwell? I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think this is a B. This ramps you from 4 to 6 ink. So, okay, play him on 3, quest on turn 4, you have 4 ink. He gets banished. He and your top card go into your inkwell, you have 6 ink. You ready, and then you go to 7. So it gets you 2 turns ahead on ink for no card cost. He just goes into your inkwell, so you can't get rid of him. And note that it's not just banished in a challenge, it's whenever it's banished. So you put him down on 3, you're going to quest with him immediately because you want to get your lore, and then he ramps you. I think this is a great card. Yeah, solid B for me. I think this double ramp is pretty cool. Baymax, Personal Healthcare Companion. 3-cost inkable 0/4 that quests for 2. When you have an adventure character in play, you may pay 1 less to play this character. And then 2 ink, remove up to 1 damage from another chosen character. I think he's a low C. This is not an ink ability that I love. I can see the vision if you have a payoff for removing damage. If you have Grand Pabby, this just is 2 ink, gain 2 lore. But nah, I don't think this is in 0/4 quest for 2, kind of bad. Even if this is a 2-cost 0/4 that quests for 2, I don't think that's that good, because zeros are just not. They just do nothing, right? I mean, they just soak up challenges and don't give any damage back. Don't love it. I think he's a C. But Baymax Armored Companion is awesome. 5-cost inkable 2/6 that quests for 2. He's an A. His ability. When you play this character and whenever he quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from another chosen character of yours. Gain 1 lore for each 1 damage removed this way. So, you hold damage on a character. Say it's turn 5. You challenge that. You can challenge in a way that you don't need to banish a character as long as your character survives. Play Baymax. Remove 2 damage. Gain 2 lore. Next turn, you do the same thing, quest, and then remove 2 more, so he can get 6 lore in the first full turn cycle that he's around. 2/6, quest for 2, dies to Medusa. But I think this is pretty awesome. Relevant keywords, especially if you're supporting any robot stuff. You can find him with that, I forget which character that is, probably Hero. Yeah, definitely an A for me. Also, great art. Yokai, Scientific Supervillain, 9-cost inkable 6/10, quests for 2. Well, this is crazy weird stats. Shift 6. You may play items named Microbots for free. Whenever this character quests, draw a card for each opposing character with 0 strength. It's like the worst character I've ever seen. For Cube. Yeah, this is completely irrelevant for Cube, right? I mean, so the joke with Microbots, which we'll see later, is you can play any number of them in your deck, and then he can just turbo out as many Microbots as you want. They reduce your opponent's character strength, and then you draw a bunch of cards. None of that is happening in a singleton cube environment. 9-cost 6/10 that quest for 2 is just like horrible. Okay, so he has 10 willpower. So the one upside I can see from him is he enables Gogo Tamago to get 9 lore when she comes in. Alright, he's a D. Alice, Savvy Sailor, 3-cost, uninkable 1/4 that quests for 2 with Ward. Whenever this character quests, another chosen character of yours gets +1 lore pip and gains Ward until the start of your next turn. Similar to the Emerald 5-cost Goofy from this set, but worse stats, and it's uninkable. But I think she's a B. I think this is strong. You can use it offensively or defense, and by offensively I mean proactively, in that you can give one of your things a lore pip in Heaven Quest so you can get an extra lore, or you can just give ward to whatever you play on turn 4. Protect it from being removed. Yep, strong card. I think she's a B for sure. We Could Be Immortals. 4-cost Inkable Song. Your inventor characters gain resist +6 this turn, then put this card into your inkwell face down and exerted. So this is just kind of a more expensive inkable 1 jump ahead that has a minor upside if you or a significant upside if you have an inventor character. So then it's kind of like a removal song that becomes an ink because you give your inventor resist +6, challenge into whatever you want, it won't die, and then put this in your inkwell. I think it's a C in that you can just use this as a 1 jump ahead that's inkable. Like you could do this on turn 3 with the 2-cost Amber Ursula that has a Singer 4. You need an inventor. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but not excited about this. Cool art. Alright, Sail the Azurite Sea. 2-cost Inkable Action. This turn, you may put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down. Draw a card. A. Yeah, this is the best 2-cost ramp we have so far in Lorcana. I don't think it's particularly close. This is a great card. You have to ink an inkable card. You can't. It's not like Fishbone where you can put an uninkable card in your inkwell. But you draw a card, so it's also maybe one of the best cantrips in the game. Solid A. Going to be hugely impactful and constructed, I think. But also just like slam dunk cube card. Common. I'll get a foil. It'll be great. Very excited for this card. Helping Hand, 1-cost uninkable action. Chosen character gains support this turn. Draw a card. I think this is a B. I think anything that costs 1 and draws a card, I'm going to look at sort of as a B by default. It's uninkable, which is a bummer because you can't. It loses a little bit of its flexibility as the game goes on. But support, I think, as a mechanic, gets better as the game goes on, so it balances out a little bit there. I just like support a lot. I think it's a unique, or it's a cool mechanic that Lorcana has. I don't know if there's an analog in Magic. I can't think of it. Reinforce? Nah, I don't know. Cool card. I'll try to fit it in my cube. I think I like when support works out. I think it's not a keyword that I necessarily think about sort of in the middle of the game that often, but I like when it happens because it's a cool mechanic. Prepare your bot. 1-cost inkable action. Choose 1. Ready chosen item. Ready chosen robot character. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. I think it's a C. I think this is almost always going to be the first mode, ready chosen item, and the dream is obviously with Lucky Dime, you can get an extra like 5 lore or whatever, or a bunch more if you have Tambatoa. I think that's like one of the only edge cases for this. I guess it can get your lantern to go off again, but then you've spent an ink to. No, you don't do that. You can draw another card with the magic mirror. You can get another lore with Spellbook, but I think this is basically only like Lucky Dime, the enabler. Can there be a? What's the best case for readying chosen robot character? I don't know. I think it's a C. I'm not gonna probably put it in my cube. Lucky Dime's good enough. It doesn't need help. Baymax's healthcare chip. 2-cost inkable item. Exert it, choose 1. Remove up to 1 damage from chosen character, or if you have a robot character in play, remove up to 3 damage from chosen character. I think it's a D. I think you're not going to see the second mode enough for this to be enough of an upgrade on Dingle Hopper, which is already a very marginal item. Yeah, I think it's just a D. Very cute card though. I haven't seen Big Hero 6, but a lot of these cards are Big Hero 6 themed and I like them a lot. Microbots, this is the card I was alluding to earlier. 2-cost inkable item. You may have any number of cards named Microbots in your deck, which you won't in my cube. It's singleton. When you play this item, chosen character gets -1 this turn for each item named Microbots you have in play. It's a D. Sorry. 3-cost uninkable item. This is Jumbo Pop. Banish this item. Remove up to 2 damage from each of your characters. Draw a card. Interesting. So when I first saw this card, I thought the draw card mode, or the draw card, was separate from the banishing. So you can't proc the you can't draw until you proc the remove damage. So this is just 3 ink, draw card. I think it's a C. I think it's I think this being uninkable. This is not a replacement for Popsicle. This is just worse. It's a C. Rescue Rangers Submarine Mobile Headquarters. It is a 2-cost inkable location with a move cost of 1 and a willpower of 8. At the start of your turn, if you have a character here, you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down and exerted. Cool. This is a cool location. I usually am not a fan of locations that don't gain you lore. There are 2 exceptions, I think. One is Hidden Cove. One is the new Sugar Rush Speedway. This is a third. I think this is a cool effect. Move cost of 1 means this is just like 3 ink, ramp every turn. That's cool. I don't exactly know what the payoff for like ramping 4, 5, 6, like 4 or 5 turns in a row are. I guess Mufasa can come down earlier and then start getting you cards back from your inkwell, and then you can double, but you need to have things to spend this ink on. Maybe the new Hades where you just play and draw and play and draw and play and draw. But I think it's a B. Definitely going to try this one out. Ooh, definitely. With Hades. Just like ink half your deck, play out the rest of your deck. That sounds kind of fun. One minor downside with this card is since you have singleton decks, what you put into your inkwell you probably won't see again unless you play Mufasa one time. So just be advised you may put your favorite card into your inkwell. And last but maybe least, Institute of Technology, 1-cost inkable location, move cost of 1, willpower of 5. Inventor characters here get +1 willpower while here, and then at the start of your turn, if you have a character here, gain 1 lore. It's a D. I think this is just, kind of worse. It's close to worse than the vanilla 1-cost locations, which are unplayable right now in Cube. Yeah. Sorry. Hidden Cove's just better. And that is Sapphire. A lot of cool cards. Very happy with Sapphire. I'm not very happy with Sapphire in my cube pre-Azurite Sea. I think it's probably the weakest color. Obviously, there are strong things. There's Fishbone, there's Tamatoa, there's Lucky Dime. But I think there are a lot of interesting additions here that I'm happy to try out in cube. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think I got wrong, what you think I got right. Next time, we'll be talking about Steel for our final set review of Azurite Sea. At the time of recording, comes out tomorrow. I'm very excited to get my hands on some boosties and to put some cool cards in my cube. Yeah, I will see you next time for Steel, and hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.